When mediator Kofi Annan left the reform process in Kenyan hands, many saw this as the beginning of a new era in Kenya's reform agenda after decades of flip-flopping on crucial national issues. On the 28th of February last year, under the chairmanship of the chief mediator, the two principals signed an agreement under the framework of the Kenya National Dialogue and Reconciliation process to end the political crisis. The framework identified four main areas critical for addressing the causes of the political crisis, the four agendas: stopping the violence, addressing the humanitarian crisis, resolving the political crisis, addressing long-term issues including constitutional, legal and institutional reforms.
What will matter so much is that those underlying issues are addressed, because that will be the way of minimizing the risks to Kenya in the future.
And indeed, that was the optimism of most Kenyans following the successful implementation of Agendas 1, 2 and 3. The remaining Agenda 4 was to address critical long-term issues such as undertaking constitutional and institutional reforms, tackling poverty and inequality, unemployment and land reform issues, consolidating national cohesion and unity, and addressing transparency and accountability.
As far as constitutional reform is concerned, the process is on track.
Indeed, constitutional review forms the nexus of Agenda 4, with critics arguing that its implementation is critical for the country's future stability. The search for a new constitution has been the promise of Kenya's political leadership for the last 15 years. The NARC government in 2002 promising attainment of this within 100 days of coming to power. And last year, the coalition government pledged a new constitution within a year, but to date, progress has been lackluster.
Whilst considerable progress was made in the early stages of the process, that momentum has been lost.
So far, two crucial laws to jumpstart the review process were enacted by Parliament in December last year. A committee on constitution review has also been set up, but public perception of government's commitment to implementing this item is as low as 30%.
Kenyan police are a law unto themselves, and they kill often with impunity.
Reforming the judiciary and the police force were also priority items in institutional reforms. But the recent indictment of the police force by Philip Alston, bringing to the fore the urgency needed in police reforms, largely hinged on a new constitution.
In some areas, the progress has been slow. In other areas, there has been tremendous progress.
The disbanding of the discredited Electoral Commission of Kenya, however, stands out alone as the boldest step taken so far in reforming the country's institutions. But it's still a job in progress, as Parliament is yet to agree on the composition and leadership of the new interim body to reform the Electoral Commission. Now, 1 year after enactment of the National Accord, little effort seems to be going into fully implementing the items under Agenda number 4. The slow pace of reform is now causing concern, with many acknowledging that unless the most crucial enactment of a new constitution is concluded, institutional reforms such as those touching on the Electoral Commission, the judiciary, the civil service and land reform may remain just a pipe dream. Beatrice Marshall, KTN Weekend Prime.